The story opens at a large, modern hospital before moving inside to the psychiatry department. In an office, a female psychiatrist asks her young, muscular patient to confirm his bizarre symptom, that he perceives every living creature as a pig. The young man simply nods. Taken aback, the doctor leans forward, asking if he's joking and if he sees her as a pig. With a dead serious expression and intense, glowing eyes, the patient confirms this is correct. The narrative then shifts to the patient's perspective, showing he sees his psychiatrist not as a human, but as an anthropomorphic pig wearing glasses, confirming his unbelievable condition. Despite her shock, the psychiatrist internally notes how handsome he is. Deciding to test his condition, she begins unbuttoning her blouse, suggesting they check his bodily functions. The action catches the young man completely off guard, leaving him wide-eyed and sweating. Leaning closer with her shirt partially open, she seductively asks what he sees. From the patient's perspective, the sight is grotesque. Not only is her head still a pig's, but her breasts have become two smaller, blushing pig heads. In contrast, the psychiatrist's inner thoughts reveal her vanity, finding it impossible that someone so beautiful could be seen as a pig. The patient stands up and bluntly answers, "I see two pigs." Hearing his literal response, the psychiatrist's demeanor changes from seductive to horrified. Clutching her shirt closed, she recoils, finally convinced of his mental illness. Changing the subject, she sits at her desk, holding a model of a human spine, and informs him he has severe spinal problems. She elaborates that his spine is severely deformed and twisted, compressing his brain and optic nerves, theorizing this might be the root cause of his perceptions. The young man is stunned by this revelation, his eyes wide with shock. The doctor gravely explains the only solution is a high-risk surgery to realign his spine, warning that failure could leave him paralyzed from the neck down. The patient nods intently, but his demeanor suddenly changes. He interrupts her with a flat expression and glowing red eyes, reaching for the model and asking for his spine back. The psychiatrist is taken aback, realizing he believes the model is his own spine. She internally laments what a waste it is for such a handsome man to be so delusional. Later, Ye Chuan is seen on a crowded bus, holding a medical report diagnosing him with severe mental illness. The scene shifts to his perspective, showing the bus filled with anthropomorphic pig people. He reflects he has always seen the world this way, speculating it's because his parents were pig butchers. He muses that the condition doesn't affect his daily life, with the major exception of dating. Clutching his diagnosis, Ye Chuan thinks about the day's importance. It's the day he will awaken his profession, and he'd hoped his illness could be cured before the ceremony. Arriving at the magnificent Ching Chong Academy, he sees a crowd of students before a massive, glowing blue crystal. He worries his mental illness could negatively affect the awakening, creating a huge problem for his future. A female voice calls out, and a young woman with long, light blue hair approaches, relieved to see him. She chides him for being late and playfully threatens to beat him up, clenching her fist. From Ye Chuan's perspective, this cute girl is just another pig person, this one with blue-hued features, shaking its fists menacingly. Oblivious, the girl gets comically angry, shaking him and demanding to know if he heard her. Their interaction is noticed by a passing student who calls the girl Shu Linguan and teases her for being lovey-dovey with Ye Chuan. A companion adds that they are childhood sweethearts who will probably marry soon. Flustered, Shu Linguan shouts at them, then tells Ye Chuan to ignore the gossip. From his perspective, the blue-hued pig girl makes the same suggestion, and he calmly agrees. A commanding voice booms as an elderly man before the crystal announces the ceremony is starting, instructing students to line up. He explains the awakening is based on their core attributes like strength, agility, and spirit, which they've honed at the academy. Higher attributes improve the chance of an advanced profession. He stresses the gravity of the moment, as their awakened profession will affect their entire lives, declaring an advanced combat profession a fate-defying achievement that brings glory to them and the academy. The elder instructs the first student to place their hand on the platform. One by one, students step forward. A muscular boy awakens an intermediate metalworker and looks disappointed. Another awakens an advanced healer, while a third awakens a junior engineer and collapses in despair. The next student, a muscular young man with reddish-orange hair, approaches the crystal. The moment his hand makes contact, it erupts in brilliant golden light, revealing his result. Combat-type profession, rare tier, shadowless bladesman. The academy elder is stunned, his jaw dropping. He exclaims in disbelief that it's a rare tier profession, and the students gasp in shock and awe. The elder, revealed to be the principal, beams with delight and asks for the student's name. The young man proudly introduces himself as Liu Jing Long. Overjoyed, the principal praises him and offers to personally visit his home to discuss his future path. Liu Jing Long thanks the principal, then turns to the crowd, waving smugly as his peers cheer for Bro Long. The principal calls the next name, Ye Chuan. From the crowd, Shu Linguan shouts encouragement. The principal observes Ye Chuan with interest, knowing that while the boy is strange, his stats are insanely high. He reflects that Ye Chuan's combined attribute total is 10, over 3 times the average. Hoping for a miracle, he watches Ye Chuan place his hands on the platform. Instantly, the crystal explodes with a cataclysmic surge of lightning, far more powerful than before, its force buffeting the principal and sending the crowd reeling. The principal stares, aghast at the power, wondering if the blinding energy is golden light, a sign of an awakening beyond rare tier. As Ye Chuan stares at the raw power he's unleashed, the principal's eyes widen. "Divine tier!" he yells, confirming the legendary highest possible tier. The energy coalesces, and glowing words announce the baffling result. Life-type profession, divine pig butcher. The principal is left speechless and horrified, unable to comprehend how a divine tier awakening resulted in a simple pig butcher. The student's shock turns to mockery. The crowd erupts in laughter, questioning if the crystal malfunctioned and debating whether a divine tier awakening makes Ye Chuan incredibly lucky or unlucky. The principal seethes with rage and disappointment, feeling heaven is playing a cruel joke on him. After years as principal, he finally saw a legendary divine tier awakening, only for it to be the most useless profession, a pig butcher. He laments that a divine blacksmith or healer would have been something to boast about for years. Overcome with frustration, he thinks the higher his hopes were, the bigger the disappointment. Turning to the isolated Ye Chuan, the principal is at a loss for words, managing only a deep, frustrated sigh as the boy walks away. As he walks, Ye Chuan notices something unexpected. A holographic blue screen that only he can see. It's a system interface displaying his complete status, including his new profession, talents, and skills. His talents are Swine Nemesis and Blade of God Slaying, and his first skill is Blood Shadow Butcher, which forces pigs into a state of fear. Most importantly, his Swine Nemesis talent grants a 50% bonus damage to pigs, a bonus that increases with every pig killed, while also reducing damage from pigs by half. Ye Chuan's eyes lock onto Swine Nemesis. As he reads about the 50% damage bonus, a subtle smile spreads across his face. The full implication dawns on him, his eyes glowing with red intensity as a powerful realization washes over him. He thinks that maybe being a lunatic isn't so bad. The final scene shows his perspective again. The entire academy, from the dejected principal to the jeering students, is a massive crowd of pigs. He concludes with the triumphant thought that his new powers are perfect because in his eyes, the entire world is full of pigs. As Ye Chuan walks away from the awakening crystal, still shocking the principal, his classmates start to make fun of him. Liu Jing Long and his friend laugh at him openly. The friend mockingly says he expected a real dragon, not a pig butcher, and then praises Liu Jing Long as the only real dragon at the academy. Liu Jing Long smugly agrees. In the middle of the mocking, Shu Linguan walks over to support Ye Chuan. She gently pats his head and tells him it's okay. She tries to find a bright side, pointing out that as a divine-level pig butcher, he is following in his father's footsteps. While she comforts him, other students look on with envy. 2 boys are crying, upset at Ye Chuan's amazing luck for awakening a divine tier profession at all. Shoots into the sky, much more powerful than any of the awakenings before it. Shu Linguan is stunned, her eyes wide with shock at the power. The principal is even more amazed than before, his face showing total disbelief. He yells out that it is a legendary profession, a level even higher than Liu Jing Long's rare one. As the light swirls, the crystal shows her destiny. Combat-type profession. Legendary tier, Snow Soul Sword Immortal. The principal can't believe it. He is amazed she awakened a legendary combat profession, especially since both her parents have simple life-type jobs. He decides her awakening must be the result of a very rare mutation. When the blue aura of her new power fades, Shu Linguan stands confidently, her whole attitude changed. The principal, seeing her now as the academy's top student, approaches her with great respect. He promises that Ching Chong Academy will give her its full support for whatever she needs. With a graceful smile, she thanks him and walks off the platform, now a very powerful and important figure. The crowd notices the huge difference between their awakenings. Two female students gossip, one wondering if Shu Linguan, now a legendary fighter, will still follow the pig butcher Ye Chuan around. Her friend says no, stating that Shu Linguan is improving while Ye Chuan is not, and that the loser should be smart enough to leave her alone. As Shu Linguan approaches him, Ye Chuan offers a simple congratulations. However, her attitude has completely changed. She calls his name in a cold, serious voice. With her arms crossed, she says there may have been some misunderstandings between them, but she wants to clear things up. She then coldly tells him that they are no longer from the same world. Ye Chuan is clearly stunned by what she said. Meanwhile, Liu Jing Long and his friend watch from the side, smiling and enjoying the public rejection. To everyone's surprise, however, Ye Chuan's shock quickly turns into cheerful agreement. Thinking he is just putting on a brave face, Shu Linguan continues in a pitying tone. She tells him she knows this must be hard, and he doesn't have to pretend he is fine. She coldly says that as just a pig butcher, he will never do anything important. At this, Ye Chuan's face hardens as he tells her not to blame him for his reaction. The scene shifts to his view, where the now proud-looking pig-faced girl says that if he agrees, they should not bother each other in the future. While Shu Linguan stands there, confused by his reaction, Ye Chuan has a small, relieved smile. His inner thoughts show he is happy to finally get rid of the pig head. He then turns to leave, casually telling her he will be going, which leaves her completely shocked. Seeing Shu Linguan's confused state, Liu Jing Long walks up to her with a smug smile. He offers to teach Ye Chuan a lesson to help him face reality. Shu Linguan stays silent and looks unhappy, but Liu Jing Long takes this as a yes, his expression turning meaner. Without waiting for an answer, he yells at the departing Ye Chuan, calling him a pig butcher and telling him to come over. Ye Chuan keeps walking, ignoring him completely, which surprises Liu Jing Long. Angry at being ignored, Liu Jing Long rushes forward, grabs Ye Chuan's arm, and angrily asks if he is deaf. Ye Chuan finally stops and turns, his eye glowing with a dangerous red light. He calmly asks what Liu Jing Long wants. Suddenly, a dark and scary aura bursts from Ye Chuan, covering him in shadow and making Liu Jing Long freeze. Overwhelmed by the intense pressure, Liu Jing Long cries out and stumbles backward in fear. The source of his fear is revealed. Liu Jing Long is trapped in a scary vision from Ye Chuan's ability. In his mind, he sees himself as a terrified pig tied to a chopping block. Ye Chuan looms over him, his eyes glowing red as he raises a large butcher's knife. Liu Jing Long is frozen with the fear of being killed. The vision breaks, and back in reality, Liu Jing Long is on the ground, pale and sweating. The crowd, not knowing about the mental attack, laughs at his sudden fall. His friend rushes to his side, asking what happened, but Liu Jing Long can only stare in a panic. Humiliated and angry, Liu Jing Long gets up and glares at Ye Chuan. He furiously yells and throws a powerful punch at his face. However, Ye Chuan reacts with amazing speed. With a calm look and a glowing eye, he meets the punch with his own fist. The two fists are about to hit, with Ye Chuan's body covered in a red aura. The impact is instant and powerful. Liu Jing Long pulls back, screaming in pain, his hand red and broken, the bones seemingly crushed by the force of Ye Chuan's block. The shocking result leaves everyone, including Shu Linguan and Liu Jing Long's friend, completely stunned. They can only stare, wondering what is happening. Holding his broken hand, Liu Jing Long yells in disbelief, finding it impossible that he was beaten by just a pig butcher. In contrast, Ye Chuan stands calmly in a crackling red aura. He coolly says that as a pig butcher, it makes sense for him to have strong hands, finally showing a small piece of his profession's true, hidden power. As Ye Chuan stands his ground, the crowd is in an uproar. Liu Jing Long's friends question what is happening, pointing at the terrible state of his friend's hand. Full of pain and rage, Liu Jing Long screams at Ye Chuan, threatening to kill him. He roars as he channels his power, creating a bright cyan energy sword, his void longsword, in his good hand. Seeing this, the gossiping girls in the crowd are sure the fight is over. One says that Liu Jing Long is finally getting serious, and Ye Chuan is dead for sure. The other wonders why a pig butcher would dare fight a combat class user, wishing he had just apologized when he could. The crowd knows Liu Jing Long's sword is strong enough to cut through a steel pipe. Burning with shame and wanting revenge, Liu Jing Long raises his weapon, screaming he is going to cripple Ye Chuan. But just as he is about to strike, the air grows cold and snowflakes begin to fall. Ice starts to form along the blade of his energy sword. The frost spreads quickly, covering Liu Jing Long's body in ice and freezing him. He struggles, horrified that his body won't move. He turns his head with great effort and glares at Shu Linguan, angrily asking why she is still helping Ye Chuan. Shu Linguan stands with her arms crossed, surrounded by a powerful frosty aura. With a cold presence, she tells them to stop. Looking at them both, she explains she doesn't want to see them fighting over her. The scene pulls back, showing the three of them standing apart in the plaza. Shu Linguan looks at Ye Chuan one last time and says he must see now that they are not from the same world anymore. She tells him this is the last time she will help him, and that it's a final farewell to their past. In response, Ye Chuan just stands there with a bored look, casually picking his ear, not bothered by her words at all. With her back to him, she gives him one last warning to leave Ching. She makes it clear that the next time Liu Jing Long seeks revenge, she will not help him again. Ye Chuan, however, is not impressed. He lets out a large yawn and casually says that if there is nothing else, he will be going, turning to leave. The two gossiping girls who were watching are left confused, saying to each other that the boy isn't taking the serious situation seriously.